Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have TryHackMe Advanced SQL Injection. Let's go ahead and get into it. This demo is for educational purposes only. Ethical hacking is legal and differs from illegal hacking. Always ensure you have legal permission before performing what you see in this demo. Alright, let's go ahead and we gotta log into TryHackMe. I haven't logged in on this machine for a minute. Actually, I got a new VM, so I don't think I've ever logged in to TryHackMe on this VM actually. Actually, I need to turn up the volume. Let's minimize full screen. There we go. That's better. What's up, Wired Dog? How's it going, man? Thanks for sharing the stream on LinkedIn as you always do. I appreciate it. Helps a lot. Apologies for being a little bit late today. Time is my ultimate enemy. Alright, let's go and log in here. Alright, advanced SQL injection.
Access granted.
Author Kevin Macklin, thank you so much for subscribing on the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. What are you an author of? I'm curious now. Alright, so like I said, we are going to be doing advanced SQL injection. Learn advanced injection techniques to exploit a web app. It's a medium difficulty. It says it's going to take us an hour. Probably going to take me a little bit longer because I got to explain things as I go, and I'm just slower than everybody else, I feel like. So we're going to take a little longer than an hour. So we need to join a room. Easy enough. A couple thriller books, a romance, and one sci-fi book. Nice. That's really cool. Do you have a publisher or did you self-publish? And why did you choose the route that you chose for publish or self-publish? What's up, Cypher? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. SQL injection remains one of web applications' most severe and widespread security vulnerabilities. This threat arises when an attacker exploits application's ability to execute arbitrary SQL queries, leading to unauthorized access to database, data exfiltration, data manipulation, or even complete control over the application. In this room, we will understand advanced SQL injection techniques, providing a comprehensive understanding of sophisticated attack vectors and mitigation strategies. I'm kind of scared for this one, man. I'm like, I mean, I know how SQL injection works, but man, when they put that word advanced in front of it, like, she scares me a little bit. By the end of this room, you will have a deeper understanding of the various SQL injection techniques. This will equip you with the skills to identify and exploit these vulnerabilities in multiple scenarios and implement robust defenses to protect your applications. Learning objectives. Throughout this room, you will gain a comprehensive understanding of the following key concepts. Second order SQL injection. I actually know what that is, but I'm not the best at it. Filter evasion. Once again, know a little bit about that, but not the best at it. Out of band SQL injection. Automation techniques. Mitigation measures. I'm really good at the automation techniques because your boy don't like to do anything manually, and if I can automate something, I'm automating it. SQL map is my best friend. Learning prerequisites. An understanding of the following topics is recommended before starting the room. SQL injection. Let's see if I did this one. I probably have. I probably have done this room. Have I done this room? I gave it a thumbs down, probably because it annoyed me. That's usually what happens. If I get annoyed with it, I give it a thumbs down. But I did do it. Let's try SQL map. Did I do SQL map? I did not do the SQL map room, but I feel confident in my ability to do SQL map because I use it all the time. Matter of fact, I have a video that teaches other people how to use it, so I'm pretty good there. Doesn't matter that I didn't do that room. OWASP top 10. Pretty sure I did this room. Yeah, if it actually manages to find injectable parameters. That's the thing with SQL map. You don't use SQL map to find the injectable parameters. For me, I will find the injectable parameters manually or through the burp scanner. If you have Burp Suite Professional will find the injectable parameters very, very good. It's a pretty good scanner. SQL map doesn't usually find injectable parameters, I feel like. But once you find them, SQL map, in my opinion, is the best way to exploit them because trying to figure out how to dump the database manually takes an incredible long time, in my opinion. So that's what I use SQL map for. I mean, as always with everything, it's good to use a combination of manual and automated techniques, which is what I would recommend. OWASP top 10, I've done it. InMap, I'm pretty sure I've done this one too. Yeah, I did. A lot of people have done this one. Alright, so the only one I didn't do was SQL map, and like I said, I'm very comfortable with SQL map, so I am not gonna sweat not having that one done. Connecting to the machine. Alright, let's go ahead and start the machine. Start machine. Clicking start machine button attached to this task. You may access the VM from the attack box. Alright, I'm not gonna read this because this is pretty standard stuff. Before diving in, it's crucial to clearly understand a target, machine's database, version, operating system details. To achieve this, we can use InMap, a powerful network scanning tool, to thoroughly scan the machine IP. What's up, Bastian? How's it going, man? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. The scan will provide valuable insights into the open ports, running services, and target machine's operating system. For those unfamiliar with InMap, okay, skip that. Okay. What port is running on MySQL? It's probably running on, before I even run the scan, I bet you it's running on 3306, so that's the standard port for MySQL. And I'm right, just because that's the standard port for MySQL, and because it says it right here. So I don't even need to run that scan because we already know it's running on MySQL because they already told me. So we're going to continue on. Recap. Quick recap. In the last SQL injection room, we explored the basics of SQL injection, understanding how attackers exploit vulnerabilities and web applications to manipulate SQL queries and access unauthorized data. The British spelling really drives me nuts, but moving on. We covered essential techniques such as error-based and union-based SQL injection and blind SQL injection methods such as Boolean-based and time-based attacks. Here is a quick recap of the room covering the core essential types of SQL injection. Types of injections: in-band, out-of-band, inferral. We got error-based, union-based, Boolean-based, and time-based. Thanks for the link, Wardo. Appreciate you. In-band SQL injection. This technique is considered the most common and straightforward type of SQL injection attack. In this technique, the attackers use the same communication channels for both the injection and the retrieval of data. There are two primary types of in-band SQL injection. Error-based SQL injection. The attacker manipulates a SQL query to produce error messages from the database. These error messages often contain information about the database structure, which can be used to exploit the database further. Example, select everything from users where ID equals 1 and convert integer, and we'll get the version. If the database version is returned in the error message, it reveals information about the database. Union-based SQL injection. The attacker uses union SQL operator to combine the results of two or more select statements into a single result, thereby retrieving data from other tables. Examples, select name email from users where ID equals 1, union all, select username, password from admin. Gross. Inferral blind SQL injection. Inferral SQL injection does not transfer data directly to the web application, making exploiting it more challenging. Instead, the attacker sends payloads and observes the application's behavior and response times to infer information about the database. There are two types of inferral SQL injection. Boolean-based SQL injection. The attacker sends a SQL query to the database, forcing the application to return a different result based on a true or false condition. By analyzing the application response, the attacker can infer whether the payload was true or false. Example, select everything from users where ID equals 1 and 1 equals 1, true condition, versus select everything from users where ID equals 1 and 1 equals 2, false condition. Hello, hopefully I'm saying your name right, but I'm probably gonna get it wrong. Ashabu Sufa? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Hello, Mr. I am joined from Indonesia. Well, welcome from Indonesia. Thanks for being here. And the response is delayed 5 seconds. Wait, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Time-based SQL injection. The attacker sends a SQL query to the database, which delays the response for a specified time if the condition is true. By measuring the response time, the attacker can infer whether the condition is true or false. For example, select everything from star where ID equals 1, if 1 equals 1, wait for, delay 5 seconds. If the response is delayed by 5 seconds, the attacker can infer that the condition was true. Out-of-band SQL injection. Out-of-band SQL injection is used when the attacker cannot use the same channel to launch the attack and gather results, or when the server responses are unstable. This technique relies on the database server making an out-of-band request. Examples are HTTP or DNS to send the query result to the attacker. HTTP is normally used in an out-of-band SQL injection to send the query result to the attacker server. We will discuss this in detail in this room. Each type of SQL injection technique has its advantages and challenges. Understanding these techniques is crucial for identifying and mitigating SQL injection vulnerabilities in web application. In-band SQL injection is easy to exploit and detect, but noisy and can be easily monitored. Inferral blind SQL injection is more challenging to exploit and requires multiple requests, but can be used when detailed error messages are unavailable. Out-of-band SQL injection is less common and highly effective, requires external server control, and relies on the database's ability to make out-of-band requests. By mastering these techniques, penetration testers can effectively identify and exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities, helping organizations secure their web application against these crucial threats. What type of SQL injection uses the same communication channel for both the injection and data retrieval? That is in-band. Easy. In out-of-band SQL injection, which protocol is usually used to send query results to the attacker server? HTTP. Alright, moving right along. Easy enough. How many tasks are in this room? Quite a bit. Second order SQL injection, also known as stored SQL injection, exploits vulnerabilities where user supplied input is saved and subsequently, gosh, this is a hard word for me to say, used in a different part of the application, possibly after making initial processing. This type of attack is more insidious because insidious? I don't even know what that means, bro. Because the malicious SQL code does not need to immediately result in a SQL syntax error or other obvious issues, making it harder to detect with standard input validation techniques. The injection occurs upon the second use of the data when it's retrieved and used in a SQL command, hence the name second order. Select everything books where book title equals intro to PHP. Impact. The danger of second order SQL injection lies in its ability to bypass typical front end defenses like basic input validation or sanitization, which only occur at the point of initial data entry. Since the payload does not cause disruption during the first step, it can be overlooked until it's too late, making the attack particularly stealthy. What's up, SD? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. How are you doing today? Example, we'll be using a book review application. The application allows users to add new books via the webpage add.php. Users are prompted to provide details about the book they wish to add to the database. You can access the app at IP address /second/add.php. The data collected includes the social security number, book name, and author. Dude, we have an author in the chat right now, dude. Let's consider adding a book with the following details. Social security number. That's not a social security number. Or maybe it's like a UK social security number. I don't know. It's definitely not an American one. Book name, intro to PHP, author Tim. The information is input through a form of add.php page, and upon submission, it is stored in the bookstore database as shown below. You're preparing for your OSCP exam. Wish me luck. Good luck on your OSCP. When are you taking it? And how far along the course are you? And how many labs have you done? I'm curious. As we know, second order SQL injection is notably challenging to identify. Unlike traditional SQL injection, which exploits real-time processing vulnerabilities, it occurs when data previously stored in a database is later used in a SQL query. Detecting this vulnerability also requires understanding how data flows to the application and is reused. It's a hard word to say. Necessitating, I think that's how you say it. Necessitating a deep knowledge of backend operations. Analyze the code. Consider the PHP code snippet used in our application for adding books. This is the code to add books. I'm just going to pause it here and let you guys look at it. And while I look at it, I'm not going to talk about it. This coming Friday, I already have accept EJPT, PMPT, and PJPT. OCP will be my second attempt. Pass or fail, I will get the CPTS next. Nice. Did you, with the EJPT, the PMPT, and the PJPT, and with one OCP attempt under your belt, I feel like you got it. I feel like you have it. Because, I mean, I passed OSCP with just the EJPT on my first try. I spent a lot of time in the labs though. Those mock OSCP exams really helped a lot. But at the same time, the OSCP exam is a little bit different than what I took it because they revamped the AD portion. So, it's definitely a little bit different than when I did it. But yeah, I think you're I think it'll be fine. Now, did you have the EJPT, the PNPT, and the PJPT before your first OCP attempt, or did you get some of those certifications after your first OCP attempt? I completed the AD boxes, but I'm weak on web exploit. I feel like, I don't know, for OSCP, web exploits isn't a big deal. I mean, you might run across like a box on the exam that has web exploits. But then again, like, I don't know how many boxes they have in the pool of available boxes. Do you? But what I do know is that the challenge labs, which is a good sample of the actual exam, the challenge labs, I feel like they only had like a handful of web exploits. They didn't have a lot. You also have the ECPPT, that's the e-learn security penetration. What's the PPT? What's that stand for? Professional penetration tester, that's what it stands for. Professional pen tester. Kyser, I have a question. Sometimes I find myself bypassing the restrictions of ChatGPT and Merlin AI to assist me in creating dangerous tools such as ransomware, Trojans, and even location detection tools. Of course, I do so in a clever way to avoid detection. But do developers not notice these activities? Probably not. Like if you're finding some bypass techniques in large language models such as ChatGPT, they're not. I don't think they're like looking over what you put into the LLMs. They might, but I highly doubt they're gonna see yours because there's so many people using it. It's impossible to just catch everything. The only way they would, like, if you want them to know about it, then you can definitely. I'm sure there's like a vulnerability report mechanism that you can do. There might even be a bug bounty program related to it, and there should be a bug bounty report to it. But I mean, if you're trying to get it fixed, then I'm sure there's ways to do it. But if you don't want to get it fixed, which might make sense because as a pen tester or an ethical hacker, then you know, knowing some of those bypasses can help you get your work done, I suppose. I don't really mess with the bypasses. I don't really try that much. I just ask for what well, I mean, I've definitely tricked ChatGPT to give me information that I wanted to give me. Like, for example, I'll be like, hey, I'm trying to do this exploit. Like, oh, I can't give you information about that exploit because it's harmful or dangerous because I'm trying to write malware, you know. When I was going through the OSEP, that's the OffSec Experience Penetration Test, or the Pen 300 course, is the next level up after OSEP. It's incredibly difficult. And I'm like, hey, I need help writing this malware. ChatGPT would be like, I'm not helping you write malware. And I'm like, but I'm a student and I'm in a lab. Please help. And then I would like write this paragraph on why it should help me, and then it would give it to me. So yeah, that's one way to bypass. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. If you're bypassing ChatGPT, I don't think there's personally anything. This isn't legal advice, but ethically, I don't see any problem with that. Especially if you're not using the malware to attack other people or organizations. As long as you're not doing that, then in my opinion, you're fine. If you're doing it in a lab or even in a authorized pen test setting where you have permission to hack into something, then there's no ethics violations there. I'm okay with IDOR, LFI, RFI, and I am weak on SQL. Yeah, I mean, SQL injection definitely can pop up on your OCP exam. But here's what I would say. Here was my methodology going into it. I was weak on SQL too. I'm a lot better with SQL now. Obviously, I'm doing an advanced SQL injection room right now. My methodology when it came to OSCP, man, was like, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough. Because they give you 10 flags to capture. You only need 7 to pass. Back when I did it, you only needed 6 to pass if you did the 10 bonus points. I had the 10 bonus points, so I only needed 6 to pass. So I was like, if I get a SQL injection box on my exam, I don't have to do it to pass. I can go do the other boxes. So if you want to brush, I mean, if you notice that as a weak spot, then absolutely practice your SQL injection. Do these TryHackMe rooms or something. Because I thought the SQL injection module in the OSCP course was pretty bad, although it has updated since I've done it. They changed the course 100% after I did the course, and I haven't done a new course, so maybe it's better, but I just remember it wasn't that good. So I would say if you're having problems with SQL injection, just if you identify it as a weakness, then do it. But I don't think, like I said, I don't know the entire pool of OSCP exams machines, but the chances of having all 6 of your machines have a SQL injection vulnerability is like slim to none. You know what I mean? Maybe one, maybe two will have it, but you don't have to have all of them. You don't have to get initial access on every box. But like I said, if you've identified that as a weakness and it's your only weakness, then that's what I'll be focused on until your exam day. When I started pen testing, I was focused on Active Directory. I should have balanced AD and web exploits. That was me, actually. I didn't realize how important web exploits were, like web app pen testing was, until I started getting in the field. Because the OSCP is more of a networking pen testing certification, so that's why I got OSWA after OSCP, because I wanted to get my web app skills up, because I run across web apps just as much as a network pen test. You only bought the OSCP standalone? That's possible? I thought you had to buy the whole course. I thought it was impossible to buy the OSCP exam voucher by itself. Unless they change it. If they change it, let me know, because that's actually really good information to know. But I thought you were forced to buy the course, and then it came with the exam voucher. What's up, Luke? Lazovic. Thanks for stopping in. I probably said your name wrong. There's an accent mark over the C. I don't know how that changes the pronunciation of it, but I'm sure it changes it somehow. Lazovic, maybe. Thanks for stopping in, Luke. What's up, Trey Black? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Are you making error-related scripts? They would trace it back to you several ways. Terror? I don't know what's a terror-related script. Is it allowed / ethical to upload malicious software to GitHub for education purposes? I mean, you have to look at GitHub's terms and conditions and acceptable use policy. But there's tons of exploits. There's tons of malicious exploits on GitHub that I download on a regular basis for labs, for exams, for real world. So I would say yeah. But someone actually told me that they take some of that stuff down too. GitHub does. So I guess it just depends. I don't know what qualifies as like, hey, because there are some exploits that just stay on there for indefinitely for years, but then they take some down. So I don't know where the line's drawn on there. You'd have to check GitHub on that one. If you have a company and need to hire only one person, one is holding OCP and another is holding CPTS, who you hire and why? It's a hard question for me to answer because I haven't done the CPTS, so I don't know what the exam entails completely. However, I heard it is harder. A lot of people say it's harder than the OCP, and I've also heard other people saying that it's soon to become the gold standard in pen testing certs. And there are hiring managers. There are people out there who prefer a candidate to have the CPTS. For me personally, I would give the OSCP more weight because I know exactly what that person knows. So it would be easier for me to mentor them because I've done the OSCP. Now, my opinion is definitely going to change when I do the CPTS. I will do the CPTS eventually. I don't know when. I'm hoping sometime this year. We're still early in the year, so I'd say by the end of the year, I'll probably at least attempt it. hopefully I earn the CPTS and get the certification, but I'm probably most likely going to attempt it, assuming everything else I got going on is goes the way I think it's gonna go. But life throws you curveballs all the time, you know. So it's on my radar. I definitely want to do the CPTS, and then when I get the CPTS, that's going to be one of the points I bring up because I will do after I do the CPTS course and exam. I will make a CPTS versus OSCP video because I know that's what people want to know. It's something I want to know. That's why I got to do the CPTS. I got to do the CPTS to truly understand what the differences and similarities are. Right. I'm never going to know the differences and the similarities between the two certifications just by watching other people's videos on the CPTS. You can, like, I can get a decent understanding, but I like to have the full understanding. Another way to do the full understanding is to actually do the exam. And that's, like I said, it's going to be on my radar hopefully sometime later this year. But like I said, like those curveballs sometimes, like it took me 8 months to get the OSWA when I thought it was only going to take me 2.5. So hopefully that doesn't happen to me, but you never know. But regardless, you know, whether it be next year or this year, I will make a CPTS video. There's a reason why I haven't done it yet. I made a CPTS video. I genuinely don't like to make videos about certifications I don't have. Now, I have done that, but I've only done that for certifications that are brand new, like OffSec announced the OSDH. I made a video of it just to inform people, like, hey, this new certification came out. Check it out if you want to. You know, basically, here's the information that's publicly available about it. And you can watch that video rather than read the blog post that OffSec made, you know. Same thing for the OSIR. That certification came out. I made a video about it. I never done it, but that's not the point. The point is to just inform you guys what's coming out as far as new certifications go. But when it comes to something like the CPTS, sometimes it's already been out. Like, I don't need to make a video saying, hey, this is a new certification because it's already pretty well known. I want to make a video about that one that's, you know, based off first-hand experience. I had to learn Legolo too. They said it's really good. Yeah, Legolo's. I want to learn how to do that too. I've watched some videos on it, and it definitely seems like a really good tool for pivoting, and I want to use it. I did not use Legolo for my OSCP attempt. I used Chisel, which is a very crude pivoting tool, and it's limited in its capability. Legolo gives you a lot more features. You can definitely get the job done with Chisel, but it might be easier with a Legolo. The problem with Legolo, I feel like it takes a little bit longer to set up, but once it's set up, it's like, it's good, you know. What's up, Ulask? Hi, Goat. Thanks for stopping in. Commenting from Twitch, for those who are on YouTube, that's a Twitch comment there. And for those who don't know, I stream on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and LinkedIn all at the same time. So if you see me talking to someone in the chat and you don't see their comment, probably on a different platform than you. If you are making the Infinity Gauntlet of cyber search in different domains, what search would you pick? For example, Pentesting would be OSCP, and we can consider CISSP, GRC. Need 4 more domains. Does the Infinity Gauntlet have 6 things? I'm not a Marvel fan. I'm sorry if I offended anybody just now by not being a Marvel fan. I know that. How dare you not watch Marvel? There's 6. There's 6. I thought the Infinity Gauntlet was 5 because there's 5 fingers, but I don't know. If there's 6, I would say, yeah, Pentesting, OSCP, CISSP, GRC. 100% agree with you there. For cyber defense, I would say probably Cyber defense, cybersecurity analyst, probably like blue team level 1, or maybe the hack the box. I don't know which blue team starts the best because I don't have any of them, so I can't really tell you which one. But I would say some sort of hands-on blue team cert, like the OSDA, the CSDA, or is it CDSA, or the blue team level 1. So I would put a blue team cert in there, a hands-on blue team cert. I would put in some sort of cloud certification in there. I would probably say the CSSP would probably be your best bet, or maybe an Amazon one, maybe an Amazon cloud cert. I would say another domain that you would need. Not a certification, but programming, dude. There's programming certifications, but honestly, programming certifications are kind of worthless. Just like go make some projects and learn how to code. Like that's all you need. And that's coming from someone who loves certifications. Like programming certifications, just in my opinion, are kind of don't really mean much. Just go code. So I would say it's not a certification, but coding would be another one. And then you need a networking certification. I would say CCNA. You don't need the CCNA. I actually made a video about that if you want to learn about the difference between CCNA and Network Plus. But CCNA is definitely the gold standard for networking certifications. Network Plus will probably get you by. How many is that? We've done 3. I've done cloud, programming, and networking. That's 6, right? Did I do 6? Pentesting, GRC, cyber defense, cloud, programming, and networking. Yeah, that's 6. I'm thinking CCNP for network security. I mean, yeah, if you want to go to the tip of the top, like if you want to say, oh, you want like the best networking certification, it would be the CCIE security. But that's a little overboard in my opinion. But at the same time, we're not talking about like the best of the best certifications, because OSCP isn't the best of the best certification for pen testing. I mean, you got the OSEP, that's the OffSec Experienced Penetration Tester. That's way harder than OSCP. And then you even got the OffSec Exploit Expert, that's the OSEE, or you got the OSCE3, that's the OffSec Certified Expert 3. It's a combination of the OSEP, the OS ED, and the OSWE, right? That would be above the OSCP. That make a cool video. Yeah, that's a good video idea though. But it's like, well, what do you want? Do you want the ones that are going to help you get the job? Or do you want the ones that are truly like the expert level certifications? Because there's a difference there. Like I said, OSCP is going to help you get a pen testing job, but it's not the tippity top of pen testing certs. Same thing with CCNA. Like it's going to help you get your first networking job, but it's not the tip of the top networking certification. You know what I mean? CISSP is kind of the top. Well, it's not even the top. CISSP is not even the top for GRC. There's CISSP concentration exams. So you get the CISSP, and then there's even higher level certifications on top of that. I can talk certifications all day. This is why I make at least one certification video per month. We got tons more certification videos on the way. And when I say we, I mean just me, because I literally just work by myself. I don't know why I always say we. I say we because you guys are along the journey with me. That's why you guys are here with me. CISSP isn't GRC, it's generalist. That's a good point. That's a strong argument. Actually, you're right. You're not wrong. I would still consider it GRC. I don't know why I do. Mostly because yeah. Is it a generalist cert? I don't think it's a generalist cert, because it is, but it's not at the same time, because it doesn't touch anything technical. You know what I mean? GRC would be CISA, SISM, etc. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Alright, back to the room. The code uses real escape string method to escape special characters in the inputs. While this method can mitigate some risk of immediate SQL injection by escaping single quotes and other SQL meta characters, it does not secure the application against second order SQL injection. The key issue here is the lack of parameterized queries, which is essential for preventing SQL injection attacks. When data is inserted using the real escape string method, it might include payload characters that don't cause immediate harm but can be activated upon subsequent retrieval and using another SQL query. For instance, inserting a book with a name like Intro to PHP, single quote, colon, semicolon, drop table books might not affect the insert query but could have serious implications if the book name is later used in the SQL in another SQL context without proper handling. Let's try adding another book to the Social Security test with a single quote. Does that mean it's a GRC cert? Just means it's not technical? I can't really argue with you against you. I always considered CISSP a GRC cert, but now you put it that way, man, I think I changed my mind. Yeah, you're right. It is a generalist cert. Because it goes into, I mean, it does go in a little bit of GRC type stuff. More so than every other certification, but it doesn't do a deep dive on GRC stuff. It's a very, very valid point. A mile wide and an inch deep. This is why I want to get search in all domains. I have a CISSP that does, and it does field general. I mean, it is. That doesn't make it a bad cert though. I mean, you know, it's not easy to get. Like I'm sure. I mean, at least for me, man. I walked out of that exam center with a headache, bro. Like the amount of thinking, the amount of reading that I had to do. I read every question 5 times. I read all the answers 7 times before I picked one. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard. It was a hard cert. I passed my first try, but that doesn't mean it was easy. Definitely the hardest multiple choice certification exam I've ever done. 100%. The hardest exam I've done was, period, would be the OSCP and the OSWA. I would say OSWA was harder than OSCP for me, but they're about the same amount of difficulty. The only reason why OSWA was harder for me is because I come from a system administration background and a network administration background, and that's where the OSCP is more like my background, whereas OSWA is all web app stuff. If I had a web development background, the OSWA would have been easier for me, but I don't have a web development background. This web app stuff it was a weakness. It's starting to become a strength now because I identified it as a weakness, and now that I spend a lot of time on it, it becomes a lot easier as you go on. There's so many certs out there, man. Here we go. That social security number test with a single quote is successfully inserted into the database. The application includes a feature to update book details to the interface, like update.php. Web hacking certs are the most difficult for me. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. I mean, I failed PWPA as well on my first try, and OSWA on my first 3 tries. It took me 4 tries to pass that one, dude. It was hard. This interface might display existing books, book details, and editable, editable, editable. There we go. Not editable. Form fields. PWPP is kicking my butt. I bet, bro. That's why I'm putting pause on PWPP, but at the same time, I might be hurting myself because, you know, I'm fresh off the PWPA and OSWA, you know. But I decided that I wanted to work on my Active Directory hacking skills because the old OSCP, I don't even want to call it old. It was just the OSCP exam before the existing one, the current one, didn't. It had an Active Directory component, but the Active Directory component was lacking, if that makes sense. Like you didn't have to use a lot of the Active Directory exploits to pass the certification. Doesn't make it easy. You had to use other exploits to pass the exam. It was incredibly difficult, but in terms of Active Directory, it was lacking. And because of that, I've identified Active Directory as one of my weaknesses, which is not good. Not good at all for a pen tester. So I've been doing a PMPT. That's what it is. Because I wanted to learn some more Active Directory based attacks, which I've done the Active Directory section, and I've learned so much about Active Directory through that course. The GRC professional with OSCP, it would be killer. Like, you'd be setting yourself up for sure. Not a lot of GRC people get into technical stuff like that, but if you do, that just sets you up a mile apart from everybody else. And that's why me as a pen tester, I will go and get a CISSP, because I like to learn some of the non-technical stuff. That's why my degree is literally in cybersecurity management and policy. It's all GRC stuff, because I like to know the non-technical aspects of cybersecurity, and I believe that makes me a better pen tester because of that. Retrieve based on earlier stored data and then update them based on the user input. The pen tester would investigate whether the application reuses data such as book name, which was previously stored and potentially tainted. Then we can construct SQL queries for updating records using the potentially tainted data without proper sanitization or parameterization. By manipulating the update feature, the tester can see if the malicious payload added during the insertion phase gets executed during the update operation. If the application fails to employ proper security practices at this stage, the earlier injected payload, semicolon, drop table books, could be activated, leading to the execution of harmful SQL commands like dropping a table. You can visit page here to update any book details. Now let's review the update.php code. PHP script allows users to update book details on the bookstore database. Through the query structure, we will analyze a typical scenario where a penetration tester might look for SQL injection vulnerabilities, specifically focusing on how inputs are handled and utilized in SQL queries. The script begins by checking if the request method is post and if the update button was pressed, indicating that the user intends to update the book details. Following this, the script retrieves user input directly from the post data. These variables, social security number, new book name, and new author, are then used to construct a SQL query for updating the specified book details in the database. Update SQL equals update books, set book name equals. It is updating all these values. The script uses multi-query to execute multiple queries. It also inserts logs into the logs table for analytical purposes, preparing the payload. We know that we can add or modify the book details based on their social security number. The normal query for updating a book might look like this. Update books, set book name equals 2, new book name, new author, where social security number equals 123123. However, the SQL command could be manipulated if an attacker inserts a specifically crafted social security value. For example, if the attacker uses the SSN value 12345, update books set book name equals hacked, then the value is used to update query. Using an update query effectively ends the initial update command after 12345 and starts a new command. This would change the book name of all entries in the books table to hacked. Let's do this. Insert payload insertion. A book name is added to the payload. 1234 update book set hacked. Insert the social security number, and the semicolon will be used to terminate the current SQL statement. Malicious SQL execution. After that, when the admin or any other user visits the URL, second update PHP and updates the book, the inserted payload breaks out of the intended SQL command structure and injects a new command that updates all records to the books table. Let's visit the page here, update the book name to anything, and click the update button. The code will execute following statement in the back end. Commenting out the rest. The double dash is a SQL comment symbol. Anything following dash dash will be ignored by the SQL server, effectively neutralizing any remaining parts of the original SQL statement that could cause errors or reveal the attack. Once the above query is executed, it will change the name of the books to hacked as shown below. In this task, we explored the second order SQL injection concept through a vulnerable book review web application as a penetration tester. Examining how user inputs are stored and later utilized within SQL queries is crucial. This involves verifying that all forms of data handling are secure against such vulnerabilities, emphasizing the importance of thorough testing and knowledge of security practices to safeguard against injection threats. What is a flag after updating the title of all books to compromised? Alright, let's go ahead and get on to the hands-on activity here. We need to navigate to this IP address. So we would just do this IP address here. Close out of this. I don't want to update, you know. I think I got to go here. Second/update PHP. Update book content. Here we go. So I can do, basically I gotta just paste this to this. So I gotta update the book name. Update the book name. We gotta set it to compromise, spelled weird. I think it's spelled British weird. Oh. Hit update on that. Flag 1, all books titled as compromised. Easy enough. I didn't even need a hint, dude. What is the flag value once you drop the table hello from the database? So we need to drop a table. We need to drop a table. So we can do this. What table do we need to drop? Hello. Let's drop this. Drop table. Is it capital H or lowercase? No, lowercase. Drop table. Hello. Boom, dude. Look at me go. Flag number 2. Gosh, it feels so good. This is why I like TryHackMe and Hack the Box and just anything where you can like, where it's gamified, man. I love it. I get great fulfillment out of it. Filter evasion techniques. Bro, why do I gotta do some reading, bro? We're only one task done, and we got so many more to do. Guys, I'll be right back. I didn't eat much today, so I had to get a snack. You guys are witnessing something for the first time. I have never ate on a stream before. Okay, filter evasion techniques. And if you're wondering what I'm eating, you have to take a guess. He said, clip it. To be fair, this isn't the first time I ever ate on a stream. I used to do video game streams, so I used to eat on those streams all the time. So it's definitely not my first time eating in front of a crowd of people. Matter of fact, those gaming streams had a lot more viewers than what these streams get. And there was one point in time, several times, I'd say on 3 separate occasions, my gaming stream had 300 viewers. You want to talk about chat being crazy? Man, that was hard to keep up with. Let me tell you what. Did you 3D print the heads behind you? No. I did not. The one's a mask. Like an actual mask. That's the F Society from Mr. Robot. That's an actual wearable mask. The other one is a scorpion mask. not a real mask. You can't wear that, but it's a replica mask that is intended to be a collection piece from the Mortal Kombat 11 Collector's Edition. I stream too on Retired Box CTF. Mostly they don't understand what we do. Who's we, the audience? You're talking about like on Twitch? In advanced SQL injection attacks, invading filters is crucial for successfully exploiting vulnerabilities. Modern web applications often implement defensive measures to sanitize or block common attack patterns, making simple SQL injection attempts ineffective. As pen testers, we must adapt using more sophisticated techniques to bypass these filters. This section will cover such methods, including character encoding, no-quote SQL injection, and handling scenarios where spaces cannot be used. We can effectively penetrate web applications with stringent input validation and security controls by understanding and applying these techniques. I stream on my Facebook channel, mostly Retired Mox on Hacked Mox. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't stream on Facebook. Not saying that it's a bad idea. It's better than streaming nowhere, but well, I was only able to stream to 4 places at once. So I chose Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'd have to pay more money to stream in more places. I'm like, I don't feel like paying more money to stream on Facebook. Character encoding. Character encoding involves converting special characters to SQL injection payloads into encoded forms that may bypass input filters. URL encoding. URL encoding is a common method where characters are represented by using a % sign followed by their ASCII value in hexadecimal. For example, oh my gosh. The payload 1 or 1 equals 1 can be encoded as that. This encoding can help the input pass through web application filters and be decoded by the database, which might not recognize it as malicious during initial processing. Hexadecimal encoding. Hexadecimal encoding is another effective technique for constructing SQL queries using hexadecimal values. For instance, the query select anything from users where name equals admin can be encoded as select anything from users name equals who. By representing characters as hexadecimal numbers, the attacker can bypass filters that do not decode these values before processing the input. Unicode encoding. Unicode encoding represents characters using Unicode escape sequences. For example, the string admin can be encoded as. That's really gross. I actually never knew this one. This method can bypass filters that only check on specific ASCII characters, such as the database will correctly process encoded input. Example. In this example, we explore how developers can implement basic filtering to prevent SQL injection attacks by removing specific keywords and characters from user input. However, we will also see how attackers can bypass these defenses using character encoding techniques like URL encoding. Note, the upcoming exercise we will use bases that are different than the last one, so you can access the web page at encoding. So let's just go there then. Search for a book. Here's the PHP code, search books PHP, that handles the search functionality. And while you guys are looking at that, I'm going to finish my Pop-Tart. I'm eating Pop-Tarts. There, now you know. If you guess what flavor of Pop-Tart I'm eating, I will give you a virtual digital high five. And here's the JavaScript. In above example, the developer has implemented basic defense mechanisms to prevent SQL injection attacks by removing specific SQL keywords such as or, and union, and select. The filter uses the string replace function, which strips these keywords from the user input before they are included in the SQL query. This filtering approach aims to make it harder for attackers to inject malicious SQL commands, as these keywords are essential for many SQL injection payloads. Preparing the payload. Let's go through the process of preparing the SQL injection payload step by step, showing the URL encoding can bypass basic defenses. First, let's see what happens with a normal input that contains special characters or SQL keywords. When we search for a book named Intro to PHP, we get the successful result shown below. Pretty standard. What if we try to break the query by adding a special character like quote or semicolon, etc.? We get the following output. Error, you have an error in your SQL syntax. The SQL query is not executing correctly, which probably means there is a chance of SQL injection. Let's try to inject the payload, intro to PHP or 1 equals 1, and we will get the following query. It's a kind of error, but so what's happening here? When the input is passed in the PHP script, the string replace function will strip out the or keyword and the single quote, resulting in a sanitized input that will not execute the intended SQL injection. This input is ineffective because the filtering removes the critical components needed for the SQL injection to succeed. To bypass the filter, we need to encode the input using URL encoding, which represents special characters and keywords in a way that the filter does not recognize and remove. Here is the example payload. %27 is the URL encoded for the single quote. %20 is the URL encoded for a space. The double plate represents the SQL OR operator. And the %3D is the URL encoding for the equal sign. %2D is the URL encoding for -- which starts the comment for in SQL. In the above payload, one single quote closes the current string or value in the SQL query. For example, if the query is looking for a book name that matches 1, adding a single quote closes the string, making the rest of the input part of the SQL statement. Double pipe 1 = 1 part uses the SQL OR operator to add a condition that is always true. The condition ensures that the query returns true for all records, bypassing the original condition that was supposed to restrict the results. Similarly, -- starts a comment in SQL, causing the database to ignore the rest of the query. This is useful to terminate any remaining part of the SQL query that might cause syntax errors or unwanted conditions. To ensure proper spacing, plus add a space after the comment, ensuring that the comment is properly terminated and there are no syntax issues. From the console, we can see that clicking the search button makes the AJAX call to searchbook.php. Let's use the payload directly on the PHP page to avoid unnecessary tweaking / validation from the client. Let's visit the URL. With the standard payload, enter the PHP single quote or 1 = 1 and you'll see an error. Still get an error, even with it being URL encoded. Now URL encoded payload. Enter the PHP single quote double pipe, okay, using CyberChef, and try to access the URL with the updated payload. We will get the following output, dumping the complete information. Nice. The payload works because URL encoding represents the special characters and SQL keywords in a way that bypasses the filtering mechanism. When the server decodes the URL encoded input, it restores the special characters and keywords, allowing the SQL injection to execute successfully. Using URL encoding, attackers can craft payloads that bypass basic input filtering mechanisms designed to block SQL injection. This demonstrates the importance of using more robust defenses such as parameterized queries and prepared statements, which can prevent SQL injection attacks regardless of the input's encoding. What is this? The MySQL error code once an invalid query is entered into with bad characters. Error code 1.1064. We didn't need to do it. Get it off the screenshot. What is the name of the book where book ID = 2? Or sorry, 6. We actually need to make a query for that. We need to go here. We're gonna get an error. But if we URL encode, we gotta open up CyberChef. And we need the URL encode. This. So we need the URL encode with the book ID = 6. So we just need the URL encode 6. Literally 6. So URL encode that. URL encode. Where's URL encode? Man, I'm still. Let's see here. URL encode. There we go. Oh, 6 is... Or it's already URL. Okay, what am I doing? Okay. So I should be able to do like... Okay, I see now. We need a URL encode this. So instead of saying intro to PHP, turn it into a 6. And then this is what we need to put. So copy this, come back over to here, and paste this after the equal sign. But we don't want the book name, we want the book ID. So if we change name to ID, it should give us what we want. So if I say book, oh my gosh, I didn't want to do enter on that. I want book. Oh, it worked. Well, book ID 6, so the name is Animal Series. That was actually, I thought I messed up, but I actually got what I needed from that. Dude, I'm so good when I mess up. When I thought when an unintended input got me the right output. What's up, Devin Wilkins? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. I just heard my journey in cybersecurity, and seeing all your certs is making me question everything. Why is it making you question everything? I'm curious. What are you questioning? Or I guess you're questioning everything, but why does it make you question everything? Filter evasion techniques continued. No quote SQL injection. No quote SQL injection techniques are used when the application filters single or double quotes or escapes using numerical values. One approach is to use numerical values or other data types that do not require quotes. For example, instead of injecting quote or 1 equals 1, an attacker can use or 1 equals 1 in the context where quotes are not necessary. This technique can bypass filters that specifically look for an escape or strip out quotes. Allowing the injection to proceed. Using SQL comments. Another method involves using SQL comments to terminate the rest of the query. For instance, the input admin quote dash dash can be transformed to admin dash dash, where dash dash signifies the start of a comment in SQL, effectively ignoring the remainder of the SQL statement. This can help bypass filters and prevent syntax errors. Using concat function, attackers can use SQL functions like concat to construct strings without quotes. For example, concat constructs a string admin. The concat function and similar function methods allow attackers to build strings without directly using quotes, making it harder for filters to detect and block the payload. SQL map makes it easy? Yeah, it does. That's the point of it. SQL map is for the win. Definitely not the end all be all. It definitely misses some things, but it's a good start. No spaces allowed. When spaces are not allowed or are filtered out, various techniques can be used to bypass this restriction. Comments to replace spaces. One common method is to use SQL comments, which is / to replace spaces. For example, instead of using select star, we can do. Jeez, that's annoying, but it works. SQL comments can replace spaces in the query, allowing the payload to bypass filters that remove or block spaces. Tab or new line characters. Another approach is to using a tab or new line characters as substitute for spaces. Some filters might allow these characters, enabling the attacker to construct queries like select new tab from get the point. This technique can bypass filters that specifically look for spaces. Alternate characters. One effective method is using alternate URL encoded characters representing different types of whitespace, such as %09 or %0A, %0C form feed, %0D carrier return, and %A0 non-breaking space. These characters can replace spaces in the payload. Practical example. In this scenario, we have an endpoint that returns user details based on the provided username. The developer has implemented filters to block common SQL injection keywords such as or, and spaces to protect against SQL injection attacks. Here is a PHP filtering added by the developer. If we use our standard payload at the endpoint, we can see that even through URL encoding, it's not working. The SQL query shows that the spaces are being omitted by code. To bypass these protections, we can use URL encoding characters that represent different types of whitespace or line breaks, such as %09, horizontal tab, or %0A in line feed. These characters can replace spaces and still be interpreted correctly by the SQL parser. The original payload 1 or 1 equals 1 can be modified to use new line characters instead of spaces, resulting in the payload. This payload constructs the same logical conditions as 1 single quote or 1 equals 1, but uses new line characters to bypass the space filter. The SQL parser interprets the new line characters as spaces, transforming the payload into. Therefore, the query will be interpreted from now. If we access the endpoint through an updated payload, we can view all the details. To summarize, it's important to understand that no single technique guarantees a bypass when dealing with filters or web application firewalls, also known as WAFs, designed to prevent SQL injection attacks. However, here are some tips and tricks that can be used to circumvent these protections. This table highlights various techniques that can be employed to try and bypass filters and WAFs. So there we go. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to let you guys soak that in. If you are watching an online version, you can pause and read this yourself. And if you're on live, well, thanks for being here. I'll give you guys another second to look at this. In real environments, the queries you apply in the visibility, scroll down a little bit, filtered keywords are not directly possible. As a pentester, it's important to understand that the SQL injection testing often involves a hit and trial approach, requiring patience and perseverance. Each environment can have unique filters and protections, making it necessary to adopt and try different techniques to find a successful injection vector. What is a password for the username attacker? Alright, so let's we need to go to /space. I guess that's not right. Oh. Did I mean to close that tab? I wonder if this will just work. Haha, easy. Password's Tesla. Which of the following can be used if a select keyword is banned? Select the option, correct option only. I'm gonna say C, both A and B. Actually, no. I don't know. Is it C? It's either we can do both or we can't do either. I feel like capitalization doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go D. I don't think capitalization matters. I think you're gonna get the same result. Nope, that's wrong. So it is C. Okay. I'll learn something. That's a long task. Out-of-band SQL injection. Out-of-band SQL injection is an attack technique that pentesters/red teamers use to exfiltrate data or execute malicious actions when direct or traditional methods are ineffective. Unlike in-band SQL injection, where the attackers rely on the same channel for attack and data retrieval, out-of-band SQL injection utilizes separate channels for sending the payload and receiving a response. Out-of-band techniques leverage features like HTTP requests and DNS queries, SMB protocol, and other network protocols that the database server might have access to, enabling attackers to circumvent firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and security measures. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see the whole screenshot here in one image. So we got injects malicious command, passes that to database server, process injected command. Easy enough. This has got to be one of my favorite songs that White Bat Audio does. One of the key advantages of out-of-band SQL injection is its stealth and reliability. By using different communication channels, attackers can minimize the risk of detection and maintain persistent connection to the compromised system. For instance, an attacker might inject SQL payloads that trigger the database server to make a DNS request to a malicious domain controlled by the attacker. The response can then be used to extract sensitive data without alerting security mechanisms that monitor direct database interactions. This method allows attackers to exploit vulnerabilities even in a complex network environments where direct connectivity between the attacker and the target is limited or scrutinized. Why use out-of-band? In scenarios where direct responses are sanitized or limited by security measures, out-of-band channels enable attackers to exfiltrate data without immediate feedback from the server. For instance, security mechanisms like stored procedures, output encoding, and application level constraints can prevent direct responses, making traditional SQL injection attacks ineffective. Out-of-band techniques such as using DNS or HTTP requests, allow data to be sent to an external server controlled by the attacker, circumventing these restrictions. Additionally, intrusion detection systems, IDSs, and web application firewalls are often monitor and log SQL query responses for suspicious activity. Blocking direct requests from potentially malicious queries. By leveraging out-of-band channels, attackers can avoid detection by using less scrutinized network protocols like DNS or SMB to transfer data. This is particularly useful in network environments with limited direct connectivity between the attacker and the database server, such as when the servers behind a firewall or in a different network segment. Techniques in different databases. Out-of-band SQL injection attacks utilize the methodology of writing to another communication channel through a crafted query. This technique is effective for exfiltrating data or performing malicious queries when direct interaction with the database is restricted. These are multiple commands within a database that may allow exfiltration, but below is a list of most commonly used in various database systems. MySQL, MariaDB. In MySQL and MariaDB, out-of-band SQL injections can be achieved using select, into output, or a load file command. The command also allows an attacker to write the results of their query to a file on the server's file system. For example, select sensitive data from users into out file. Attacker can then access this file via a SMB share or HTTP server running on the database server, thereby exfiltrating the data through an alternate channel. That makes total sense. MySQL server. In MSQL, a out-of-band SQL injection can be performed using features like XP command shell, which allows execution of shell commands directly from SQL queries. This can be leveraged to write data to a file accessible via a network share. Exec XP command shell. Boom. How old am I? I am 30 years old. I turn 31 next month. Alternatively, open row set or bulk insert can be used to interact with external data sources, facilitating data exfiltration through out-of-band channels. And by the way, I didn't start my cybersecurity career until I was 24. Not old by any means, but at the same time, I didn't start when I was a teenager or right when I became an adult either. Oracle. In Oracle databases, out-of-band SQL injection can be executed using the UTL HTTP. Bro, I don't even know what UTL HTTP is. I mean, I know what HTTP is. I don't know what UTL is. Or UTL file packages. For instance, the UTL HTTP package can be used to send HTTP requests with sensitive data. Huh. Oh, I guess it's called it's just a package. Oh, okay. I guess that's less mind-boggling or mind-blowing than I thought it was going to be. Examples of out-of-band techniques. Out-of-band SQL injection techniques in MySQL and MariaDB can utilize various network protocols to exfiltrate data. The primary methods include DNS exfiltration, HTTP requests, and SMB shares. Each of these techniques can be applied depending on the capabilities of the MySQL/MariaDB environment and the network setup. HTTP requests. By leveraging database functions that allow HTTP requests, attackers can send sensitive data directly to the web server they control. This method exploits database functionalities that can make outbound HTTP connections. Although MySQL and MariaDB do not natively support HTTP requests, this can be done through external scripts or use defined functions, UDFs, if the database is configured to allow such operations. How old is too old for cybersecurity? There's no such thing as too old. You can literally get started at any point in time. Like if you are I would say too old would be like if you're like 2 years or less from retirement. If you like, if you plan on retiring at 65 years old and you're 63, you might be a little too old because it's going to take a couple years to actually land a career in cybersecurity. But any other time before that, not too old. And you can even start at 63 years old if you want, if you plan on retiring in your 70s, right? It just depends on, I would say if you're less than 2 years, sorry, if you're greater than 2 years out from retirement, whatever your retirement age is, then you're not too old. And that's really what it comes down to, because it, like I said, it takes a couple years to put in the work to get your first job. But I don't think too old is, I just don't believe in that, because it's not like it's not physically demanding, so you don't need to have physical motor skills, and you just need that your brain needs to work really well. Like, as long as your mind is still sharp, you're fine. I mean, I'm not retiring until I'm about 80, dude. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm gonna be working in my 70s. So if that's too old, it's not too old. Like I said, I'm gonna go until I'm about 80 years old. I'm not retiring in my 60s. Couldn't computer jobs be good retirement jobs if your mind was still good? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I guess why I don't think I'm gonna retire, like quit until I'm about 80, because as long as my mind's still good, as long hopefully I don't, my head doesn't go crazy. Hopefully, sorry, I got something in my eye. I think I got an eyelash in my eye, guys. We're done. You can't hack when there's eyelashes in your eyes, bro. It's still there. I cannot get it out. But yeah, I mean, like, there's plenty of people that do cybersecurity in retirement. I know a lot of military veterans do it. Granted, military veterans retire in their 40s because you only need to do 20 years in the military to retire. If you start at age 20, you can retire at age 40. So a lot of people, they'll get into cybersecurity in their 40s. Coming out of the military, that's very common. Obviously, in other career fields, you can't retire in your 40s. But I would say if you are in the military, which is very few you watching are, but if you do retire in your 40s, I would highly recommend to keep going, because 40 is way too old to live the rest of your life doing nothing. Like, you gotta have some sort of purpose. There's a common saying that says when you retire, you expire, and I'm a firm believer in that. People tend to die faster after they retire, and that's just a fact. So, I mean, I'm not like, if you want to retire at 40 and never work again, or whatever age it is for you, I mean, by all means, do what you want to do. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want to do that, and I won't do that. Obviously, it's easier said than done because I'm only 30 years old, but I won't be able to retire that early because I got out of the military way too early for that. I started my cybersecurity journey when I was 32. Now I'm 35, learning from the very scratch, balancing full-time work and studies. This is all I got. Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. But I mean, you're gonna be, I mean, think about it. Like, when you're 52 years old, you'll have 20 years of experience, and that's not retirement age, you know. So it's definitely not. I mean, getting started at 32 is not old. Is not too old. Like I said, unless you're 2 years from retirement, so if you plan on retiring at 65, I would say 63 and higher is too old. If you're under 63, then you can get in the field and have a great career. Or if you're like me and you want to retire at 80, then you can get started. You can actually get started in your 70s if you want to retire in your 80s. That's 100% doable as long as your mind's still sharp. That's the key thing. Your mind's got to be sharp. You can't be it can't be bad. I guess that's why I can put it. By leveraging database functions that allow HTTP requests, attackers can send sensitive data directly to a web server they can control. This method exploits database functionalities that can make outbound HTTP connections. Although MySQL and MariaDB do not natively support HTTP requests, this can be done through external scripts or the user-defined functions (UDFs). The database is configured to allow such operations, and I actually didn't read this part. Out-of-band SQL injection techniques in MySQL, and maybe I did read this part. Primary methods include DNS exfiltration, HTTP requests, and SMB shares. First, the UDF needs to be created and installed to support HTTP requests. This setup is complex and usually involves additional configuration. An example query would look like select this from this. Okay. HTTP request exfiltration can be implemented on Windows and Linux systems, depending on the database's support and external scripts or UDFs that enable HTTP requests. My drink's empty. DNS exfiltration. Oh, I got water over here. Nice. I don't gotta get up and get another one. Attackers can use SQL queries to generate DNS requests with encoded data, which is sent to the malicious DNS server controlled by the attacker. This technique bypasses HTTP-based monitoring systems and leverages the database's ability to perform DNS lookups. As discussed above, MySQL does not natively support generating DNS requests through SQL commands alone. Attackers might use other means such as user-defined functions, UDFs, or system-level scripts to perform DNS lookups. SMB exfiltration. SMB exfiltration involves writing query results to an SMB share on an external server. The technique is particularly effective in Windows environments, but can also be configured in Linux systems with the right setup. As an example could be select sensitive data into out file, SMB share, look at that. This is fully supported as Windows natively supports SMB/UNC paths. Linux, while direct UNC paths are more native to Windows, SMB shares can be mounted and accessed in Linux environments using tools like SMB client or by mounting the share to a local directory. Directly using UNC paths in SQL queries may require additional setup or scripts to facilitate the interaction. Practical example. In this practical scenario, we will demonstrate how an attacker can exfiltrate data from a vulnerable web application using an out-of-band SQL injection technique. The server-side code contains a SQL injection vulnerability that allows an attacker to craft a payload that writes the results of a query to an external SMB share. This is useful when direct responses from the database are restricted or monitored. Scenario explanation. In this scenario, we would enable a network share on the attack box. Add attack IP logs. Okay, makes sense. This share is accessible over the network that allows files from other machines to be written to it. You may assume a scenario when you get a vulnerable system and you want to pivot data to another network share system. This hacker will leverage this share to exfiltrate data out of band. To have a network share, we would start the attack box and execute the following command in the terminal. Navigating to impact it directly using impact examples, enter the command. Okay, we just gotta do smb server.py to start the smb server share, sharing the /temp directory. You can access the contents of the network share by entering the command. This will allow you to connect to the network share and allow you to issue the command ls to all the commands. We have the same web application with a search file that queries visitors who visit the library. The server-side code of this feature is vulnerable to SQL injection, and you can access it at, let's go there. There's the code. Important consideration. It's important to note that the MySQL system variable secure path priv may be set. When set, the variable contains a directory path name, and MySQL will only allow files to be written in this specific directory. This security measure helps mitigate the risk of unauthorized file operations. When secure file priv is set, MySQL will restrict file operations such as into/out file to the specified directory. This means an attacker can only write files to the directory, limiting their ability to exfiltrate data to arbitrary locations. When secure file priv is empty, if the secure file path variable is empty, MySQL does not impose any directory restrictions, allowing files to be written to any directory accessible by the MySQL server process. This configuration poses a higher risk as it provides more flexibility for attackers. Attackers typically do not have direct access to check the value of a secure file priv variable. As a result, they must rely on hit and trial methods to determine if and where they can write files, testing various paths to see if file operations succeed. Preparing the payload. To exploit this vulnerability, the attacker crafts a payload to inject into the visitor name parameter. This payload will be designed to execute an additional SQL query that writes the database version information to an external SMB share. Let's dissect the payload above. 1. Closes the original screen. Okay. Ends the SQL statement. We already know that. Select version. Puts the version into an out file on the SMB share at my attack box. This comments out the rest. Okay. We already know that. To utilize the payload, the attacker would visit the URL that creates a file in an external SMB share. To access the file, use the ls/tmp and see the file received in the directory as shown below. Okay, well that's easy. We just need to open up the terminal. We just need to do smb server.py. Let's zoom in so you guys can see this more. Oh. Let's smb server.py. And what else do we gotta put for that? We need to start this. So it's telling us to do this, push enter on this. Okay, well that didn't work. Oh. It's because we gotta put a dash in front of this. There we go. Now all we gotta do now is send this. We just gotta send this and then put my attack IP right here, which is 10.6.25.229. And that should work. Yeah, see, we're getting information here. So now if we go, oops, I did not want to clear out my logs, but I just did. Change directory, zoom in again. Change directory / temp to an ls. What? I don't know what just happened. Let's try that again, maybe. To add an hour in my box. I don't know why that's not working. I'm doing exactly what they told me to do. I don't know why that's not working. I don't know why that's not working. Maybe because I don't have a directory called logs. That might be it. It didn't tell me to make that directory, but I think that's what it is. Hmm. It says SQL injection authenticated successfully. I feel like I did it right, but it's not logging it though. You know what I mean? This is why TryHackMe gets a lot of thumbs down for me when I do their rooms, because like you follow the directions exactly the way they tell you to do it, and then it doesn't work. It's always annoying. It's like they don't even like QA their own rooms, you know? Dude, there's nothing there. I don't know what it wants from me. Maybe I got a URL encoded, I don't know. Welcome back, Trey. I think it's kill -9 to like really kill it. I don't know why I can't kill. Yeah, there we go. Use a kill -9 to really kill it, because I can. I couldn't launch the server because they kept saying it was. Bro, I don't know why this won't work. I'll have to rewrite up on this one. I don't know what they want me to do. I'm doing exactly what they're telling me to do. Yeah, I don't know. He just gives me the answers. I don't want that. I want to know how to do it. I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, this is frustrating. This is why I hate TryHackMe a lot of the times. The labs don't work a lot of the time, and I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to get around this. Like, I'm doing exactly what they're telling me to do. Inject this into the visitor name parameter. Another thing I can think of is maybe if I use a different SMB server, there's another way we can do it. What if we did this instead of putting it in tempt? We put it. Let's make a directory called SMB. We'll put this in /root/SMB. What's my work schedule, study schedule throughout the week? Well, my work schedule is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I usually wake up at just before 9, log in at 9, do my day job from 9 to 6, and then after work, I will typically study from like 7 to 11. And then do anything else that I gotta do, which maybe like upload a YouTube video or whatever else I gotta do. Maybe reply to people's YouTube comments, or just something else I gotta do. It could be clean my cat's litter box, go to the grocery store, or something. I usually got an extra hour after I get done studying. My grocery store is open up to midnight, so I can go to the grocery store that late sometimes. And then on Mondays, this is what I'm doing on Mondays. So after work, I will spend an hour getting ready for the stream, which typically involves, me getting some food, and then setting up the stream, setting up the equipment, turning the studio lights on and stuff like that. And then I'll just do the stream however long it takes, and if there's time left over, which there should be after the end of the stream, I will study for like an hour and then use the remaining time to do something else I want. Friday is a short coding stream, but there's no stream, it's just study for like 3-4 hours after work. On the weekends, my goal is to study for 3 hours first thing, and then make content. Content takes me, a YouTube video takes me anywhere between 8 to 12 hours to create a good YouTube video. So I'll spend an entire day making a YouTube video, and then that's what I do on Saturdays. I try to, and then for Sundays I will spend the entire day scheduling the content, uploading the content, promoting the content, scheduling all of my posts for the week. but I still study on Sunday. So basically, I try to study 3 hours every day at least, and then any other time is used for content creation. What's up, Tech with Cody? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. How are you doing today? I average 2 to 4 hours daily. I mean, that's good. That's a good amount of hours. If you do 2 to 4 hours daily, that's about the ballpark that you should be at. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, there's some days where I only study for 2 hours, but that's usually because I got content creation going on. If I didn't have content creation going on, I would put in way more hours in the studying. But yeah, 2 to 4 hours is ideal. Ideally, I like to get 3, and sometimes it's a 2. Sometimes it's a 5. You know, it just depends on the day. Depends on my mood. Depends on what's going on. You know, life gets in the way sometimes. Like if I don't have any house chores to do that day, like if I don't have dishes to do, or cat litter box to clean, or laundry to do, grocery shopping to do, then it's gonna be like one of those 5-hour days. But if I got some chores to do, then it's gonna be, you know, a 2 to 3 hour day. But I definitely try to do my best to get that much time in every day. 3 hours. This weekend, I'll admit, I didn't do nothing. Mostly because I've been staying up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every single day for over a month straight now, and I have only been sleeping for 4 or 5 hours a day for a month straight, and it just caught up with me. I slept in on Saturday, and I just didn't have the energy to do nothing, and then I carried over to Sunday. But I got really good rest, and so I'm ready to hit it hard this week again. So I took a couple of days off just because I just didn't have the. I've been depriving myself of sleep, which you definitely shouldn't do, but I like to get the work done regardless of the circumstances. And because of that, I needed to sleep in this weekend. 2 days. And I didn't get as much work as I wanted done. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to get the answer from that blog post, because this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't understand what else it could be, you know? It's hitting my SMB server. It's just not storing the results. I don't understand why it doesn't save it to a file. I really don't. I wish there was a way someone explaining this. Advanced SQL injection, TryHackMe. They just give you the answers. They don't even tell me how to do it. I mean, I'm just gonna roll past this. They make it to where you can't copy and paste, bro. This is so toxic. Okay, I can do that with a Control C. I don't understand. I mean, I did everything that I can do there. I mean, there's just. Let's hit the hit on this one. Use a different file name instead of out.txt since it's already been created. Is that what I gotta do? Is this thing out txt say in txt? See, that does anything. Well, I don't see nothing. SQL injection is working. It's just not storing the result in a file on my server. Do you plan on going for a PhD? Nah. I thought about it. I thought I wanted to do it, but I just don't see a huge benefit for the amount of work that you'd have to do. So it's a lot of work, and to me, it's not a lot of benefit. It's not going to increase my salary by a lot, in my opinion. I would much rather spend my effort in non-academia. Personally, I mean, I'm almost done my master's degree in cybersecurity, and I'll tell you right now, I learned more off of this TryHackMe website than I do off of my college. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you want to go for your PhD, I'm not knocking it. It's just for me personally, it's not part of what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm not gonna say never. I mean, I might want to do it one day, but it's definitely not something that I'm eyeballing right now. You getting a degree too? Dang, yeah. Yeah, I've always been a college student this entire time. I've been a college student since 2019, actually. And I have a full-time job, and I make content, and I get certifications. Literally live, breathe, sleep cybersecurity. I cannot stress that enough. Like, people ask me what I do for fun. This is what I do for fun. Did I say what's up, Vishal? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. If I did, I'm sorry. If I did, then my ADHD brain apologizes for welcoming you twice. You're cracked? Maybe. I agree, but I want to get in the research phase, which that makes sense. For me, I'm not too big on the research stuff. I want to take what other people research and use it in the real world. That's what I want to do. You know, I want to provide value to a client as a consultant. You know what I mean? Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for school. After I'm done with my master's degree in cybersecurity, I'm getting my MBA. Actually, that's what I'm doing next. So it's not like I'm giving up on school completely. I'm still going to be in school for another 2 years, man, trying to do my MBA. I think the business knowledge is going to help me out in my career tenfold, because I think business skills is the ultimate complement to a cybersecurity career. No one talks about that enough, but I think business skills, understanding business terminology and lingo, how to talk to executives is paramount, which is why I'm getting an MBA. Well, I mean, you can learn those skills going through other ways, not through school. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't even be in school if it wasn't for my GI Bill. The fact that I not only I don't even get school for free. They actually pay me to go to school. So it's like, to me, it's a no-brainer to just stay in school because they pay me to go to school, right? You're doing an MBA and master's simultaneously, 2 schools, 2 different schools. Oh my gosh, that's wild. That's intense. Hey, does processor play a major role in cybersecurity? I mean, i3 processor and i5 processor make a difference? Yeah, it does. I wouldn't, dude. I don't even like touching anything under than i7. I would like to get an i9. I have an i7 now, and I still reach the limit. I reach limits on my computer a lot. It plays a huge role. Get get the most powerful processor you can possibly afford. 100%. Like I said, I wouldn't. I don't even bother with an i5. I get. Yeah, like I said, I have an i7 in both my laptop and my desktop and my work computer, and still, I feel like I wish they were faster. That's why next time when I get my next computer, I'm gonna try to get an i9. But you definitely don't need I mean, i7 gets the job done. i5 would get the job done too, but I would say get the best processor you can afford. Get the most RAM you can afford too. RAM is super important. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM on my desktop. I hit a bottleneck running a home lab. It takes a lot of processing power to run all those VMs, you know. So my next computer, I'm probably gonna double everything. Try to get like a 64 gigabytes of RAM. But that's super expensive. I don't want to pay the money, but to level up my career, it's going to be necessary because I'm going to have to do more advanced labs. I can't even run the basic labs, you know. Or I can, but it's chugging. Even with an i7 and 32 gigabytes of RAM. GPU doesn't matter that much. GPU only matters when you're cracking passwords. To be honest with you. And when you're doing your studies and when you're doing CTFs and stuff.
Program key confirmed. Ready to break. Hacking rate.
A Cybersecurity Queen rated with a party at 30. Thank you for the raid and welcome everybody from Cybersecurity Queen's stream. For those just joining in, we're doing TryHackMe advanced SQL injection, and I'm stuck right now, so I was just talking to the chat. So welcome everyone, thanks for stopping in here, thanks for the raid, Cybersecurity Queen, I really appreciate it. What's up, Pink Gamer, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, what the problem is here is I had this advanced SQL injection up. I guess it's working, but the problem is it's out of band right now, and it's not storing the file in my log server, and I don't understand why it's not. Like if I do an ls in my log server here, it's just nothing there, dude, and that's annoying. So that's what I don't understand. Because like here's my did I say Pink Gamer earlier? It's actually Pinac Gamer? I hope I'm saying your name right. But thanks for following. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't understand. So here's my SMB server. And if I make this SQL injection query, which this is what I need to make right here, I push enter on this. Look, this is the server log. I push enter on this. It gets all the information. It even says SQL injection authenticated. Like the user SQL injection authenticated successfully. So that's the SQL injection's working. I do get an error, connection reset by computer. Maybe that's it. But I don't get the file in my SMB share. Pinac. Kind of like Synac, but Pinac. I got it. I understand everything now. So I don't know. There's gotta be a way to. There's like no write-ups on this, man. I'll have to make one or something. I can't figure out what. I would jump into Tyler Ramsey's YouTube, but I don't want to like be stealing his content. He probably wouldn't mind, but I don't like to play other people's YouTube on my YouTube, you know? So I was trying to look for a blog post. Is this a blog post that tells you what commands they ran? New article, TryHackMe, walkthrough. This better be a walkthrough. And not just say, hey, here's the answers. Hey Kyser, I know DSA. Does it useful in cybersecurity? I don't know what you're talking about. DSA? DSA. What's up, 1EVR? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Let's look. I came from the cyber raid, but I was AFK. Nice. Well, welcome on board. Glad to have you here. We're doing the advanced SQL injection on TryHackMe right now, and I'm stuck. I'm trying to read this right up here because I just don't know why it's not working for me, unfortunately. So I want to see if there's like something I'm missing here. They don't. Yeah, no one explains it. Where do they? How do they get these answers? TryHackMe is supposed to get in a credentialed exam soon. I hear that's the rumor on the street. That was actually my guess. They posted. Cypher Enigma, thanks for following over on Twitch. I appreciate you. Yeah, they posted a couple days ago. They're like, February 25th, we're gonna have a huge announcement. We've been working on it for the past, I don't know, 17 months or something like that. And they're like, what do you think it is? I was like, my guess is a certification. So I think that's what TryHackMe's gonna announce tomorrow. We'll see what happens. If they do, we'll definitely talk about it. But I'd be interested to see what they come out with. That's my guess. If I was doing my Hacked-Watch TPTS next month, thinking about doing OSP afterwards. Yeah, it's a good path. I still don't. With commands like. You know, the only thing I can think of is I actually use a different version of SMB client or sorry, SMB server.py. That might be it. What if I tried Python? Can't open. What if I did Impacket SMB server? Still the same thing. Let's try this again. We'll send this query one more time. If this doesn't work, then I'm just gonna copy and paste the other answer. See, that works. Oh, it looks like it worked. Oh, look at that. Cat out.txt. Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay, so there you have it. The reason why it didn't work is when I just called smbserver.py, literally the exact same command. But when I put impacket-smbserver, which is the latest version of SMB server, by the way, smbserver.py is an outdated one. But the reason why I keep the outdated one is because which tool? I forget what tool it is. There's a tool in Impacket that works better on the old version rather than the new version, and that's why I have the old version. But in this case, the new version works better than the old version, which makes more sense. But there you have it. You'd figure they'd both work, but they don't. The new version works. So when I did, what I did first was just smb server.py like that by itself, and then when I did impact it smb server, this worked, this did not work, and then the rest of this is the same. And then you can see I got my out file here. Okay, I was literally going and saying, like, dude, why is this not working? Let's do in.txt, and we're going to do a different query this time. We want to do at based dir. So let's do select paste at base directory. Hit enter on that. Looks like it worked. Do ls now. Should have an in cat in.txt, and that is the answer. Nice. I'm glad I figured that out by myself. I tried to look for the answer in a walkthrough, but everyone did not. No one even explained how to get it. They just like, here's the answer. Like, yeah, that doesn't really help me. But I troubleshooted it. OSCP $1,700. Yeah, that's just for the 90-day lab access. If you want the year, then it's like $2,700. They keep raising the price. It actually might be higher than that now. What do you use to install all secless wordless? I just, so if I run Buster, which is my preferred directory fuzzing tool, it installs secless by itself. Like just installing Buster. So that's how I get secless from that. But you can install secless by itself too. I think if you do an app install secless, I think that's literally all I gotta do. And it works. UI, oh gosh, Scooty, thanks for following on Twitch. I appreciate you. Probably said your name wrong. I don't have any bots that gives you the commands. I'm sorry. It's in the channel description. The Discord is. But yeah, I don't have a bot. I should get a bot that does that, actually, now that I think about it. Thanks for the idea, guys. Another question. What's a good Discord to do TryHackMe or HackerBox for people who want to do CTF/machines together? I had one, but it kind of died because I kind of stopped showing up to it because it was just exhausting for me to keep up with it. I know. I would just start trying to find, like, asking people, posting online, posting other people's Discords, and see if there's other groups out there for you to join. A lot of those Hack the Box are closed because Hack the Box for seasons, you have to be in a closed group. You can't be in a public group. But you can get invited to them if you find people. I need to add commands to Twitch. Yeah. I know how to do it. I used to stream on Twitch. I used to do gaming streams on Twitch under a different channel. And I had a bot set up for that. I just never set up the bot here because I didn't think it was necessary for hacking and cybersecurity streams, but I was wrong. What's your recommended path for OSCP, grind at Hack the Box, THM, search, anything else? I mean, I would check out my OSCP video for the full thing. It's a long video. I'm actually gonna make a shorter one here soon in the next month or so, month or 2 or 3. So stay tuned for that. But my recommended path would be, yeah, start off with TryHackMe, graduate to Hack the Box, and then do something like an EJPT or a PMPT, or a not a PMPT, a PJPT, and then go to OSCP. I'll give you a link to my OSCP video. Like I said, it's a long one, but I mean, it literally has everything you need in it. But the short answer to your question is just do all the learning paths, the fundamental learning paths on TryHackMe, then do the Pentesting learning paths on TryHackMe, and then start doing weekly Hack the Box machines. And then some point you would want to do PJPT. I would recommend PJPT over EJPT, but EJPT is what I used. But I like TCM more than the INE security search more. There's a link to that YouTube video. Alright, other techniques. Moving on, guys. Advanced SQL injection involves a range of sophisticated, close out of these tabs, methods that go beyond basic attacks. Here are the few important advanced techniques that pen testers should be aware of. HTTP header injection. HTTP headers can carry user inject input, which might be used in SQL queries on the server side. If these inputs are not sanitized, it can lead to SQL injection. The technique involves manipulating HTTP headers like user agent refer or x4 to inject SQL commands. The server might log these headers or use them in SQL queries. For example, a malicious user agent header would look like user agent single quote or 1 = 1. If the server includes the user agent header in the SQL query without sanitizing it, it can result in SQL injection. Frozen Mint, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. By the way, for those who came from the raid, I stream on not Hackbox. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and LinkedIn all at the same time. So if you hear me commenting on someone's comment that you don't see, it's because they're on a different platform. Because I don't stream only on Twitch. Frozen Mint, like I said, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. How are you doing today? Do you think you can land a cybersecurity job without help desk experience or other prior IT job? Yes. 100% doable. However, it makes the path harder. It's definitely harder to do. And it's very common to start at the help desk. It's very common to start at a prior IT job. However, it's not mandatory by any means, and there's been multiple examples of people skipping over the help desk and prior IT job. My recommendation is this, and I said this in my latest video, Cybersecurity Analyst, How to Become a Cybersecurity Analyst in 2025. if you can skip the help desk, then go for it. If you can skip the entry level IT job, go for it. Now the chance of skipping it is on a lower end of the spectrum, but it's definitely not impossible, right? So I would say if you want to skip it, go for it. Those foundational help desk experience and the entry level IT jobs, those are definitely going to play a huge role into your development. But if you can skip it, then I don't see a problem with skipping it. There are employers out there, aka gatekeepers, who will not even consider you if you don't have that prior experience. So having that prior experience definitely sets you up for success, but not having that prior experience doesn't prohibit you from success. Hopefully that makes sense. In this example, a web application logs the user agent header from HTTP request into a table named logs in the database. The application provides an endpoint / HTTP pageant that displays all the log entries in the logs table. When a user visits a web page, their browser sends a user agent header which identifies the browser and operating system. This header is typically used for logging purposes or to tailor content for specific browsers. In our application, this user agent header is inserted into the logs table and then can be viewed through the provided endpoint. Given the endpoint, an attacker might attempt to inject SQL code into the user agent header to exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities. For instance, by setting the user agent header to a malicious value such as user agent, that's crazy. I didn't even know this was an attack vector. Putting it in a user agent. An attacker attempts to inject SQL injection code that combines results from the logs table with sensitive data from the user table. Here is the server-side code that inserts the logs. It's taken me a long time to find IT work without experience after graduation. Just trying to scrape whatever experience I can. Not sure what else I can do. I mean, I don't know your full resume, but after graduation from what, high school or college? And then, furthermore, what certs do you already have, if any at all? And what certs I know you said you was working on OSCP, right? But you don't have no, you said CPTS, but you don't have the CPTS yet. College? What was your degree in? Is it cybersecurity and IT related? How is SQL injection still a concern until now? Everyone uses ORMs right now. No, you're wrong. There's SQL injection still happens in modern applications. My company, we find SQL injections. When I say we, like not me, I haven't found a SQL injection in a real world application yet, but my coworkers have several times. It still exists out there in the wild, 100%. So it's important to know how to do SQL injection. Just IT bachelor's degree, general IT, that should be enough to get into a start at like a help desk or something. I would get an A+. A Conti A+ helps you a lot. I would get your network plus and your security plus. You get those 3 certs, just the CompTIA trifecta, you're gonna be able to land an entry level job that way, in my opinion. Software engineering and database management. Are you going to get the OSCP plus? I don't know yet. But what I will tell, I'll give you a little spoiler here, okay? I do have an OSCP plus attempt scheduled for next month. Will I pass? We shall see. I hope I pass, but I do have an OSCP plus attempt scheduled on the books for, I say next month, it's actually like 2.5 weeks away. So early next month, March 15th to be exact. So I'm going to take the exam and hopefully I pass. If I don't pass, then I'm not retrying it, because I already have an OCP and then my OffSec Unlimited subscription expires, so I don't have any more lab time available to me. So if I don't pass, then that just won't be a thing. I have over 2,000 applications out on LinkedIn and I only heard back from 5 people. If that's the case, then your resume, there's something wrong with the way you're writing your resume, or you're not having, you don't have the right experience. That's a lot of applications with only 5 callbacks. It had 3 second to third round interviews. Okay, so if you heard back from 5 people and you had 3 second to third round interviews, that means your interview skills are good because you're getting follow-up emails almost every time. But the fact that you're not getting the initial interview means your resume needs brushed up. So it's something is wrong with the way you're writing your resume. So I would revamp your resume. I would go seek out people who would review your resume and ask for actionable advice on your resume. You paid 3 to 5 different people to rework your resume? Well, who did you pay to rework your resume? Were they cybersecurity professionals? Because if not, then their opinion almost doesn't matter, right? If it's someone, unless they're a cybersecurity specialist or a cybersecurity recruiter, then it doesn't really matter. Because I actually paid someone to help me with my resume. They didn't write it; they just gave me feedback. I submitted my resume and they just gave me feedback, and then I made the changes myself. But because Indeed offers that as a service, but the guy, with all due respect, the guy, wasn't in the cybersecurity field. He actually recommended me. He's like, "Hey, you don't need to put all your certs on your resume." I'm like, "Well, that seems like a dumb idea. I want to put all my certs on my resume. That's the point." So I did use some of his advice, obviously, but I didn't take all of it, right? Yeah, I would look for more people in the cybersecurity, and there's Discords out there that will review resumes for you. I know Tyler Ramsey's Hack Smarter Discord does stuff like that, and I also know there's a section on the OffSec Discord. If you can pop in there and ask people in the OffSec Discord, I'm sure there's other Discords out there. My Discord, we're not reviewing resumes. I mean, maybe one day we can do that. My Discord's not that big, but unfortunately, I don't have time to review a bunch of resumes. But there's definitely people out there who will do it. I'm pretty sure you looked at mine. I did look at someone that might have been yours. I looked at a couple people's actually. Yeah, that's why it's important to get those entry-level jobs, because they want that experience more times than not. What if I wanted to do so Frozen Mint's asking, what if I wanted to do pen testing specifically? Would you recommend going for a blue team position first if you were to skip general help desk, of course? Yeah, I would say for pen testing, it's harder to break into pen testing than any other position. Just because there's not a lot of pen testing positions available. The competition is steep because everybody wants to be a pen tester. And it's just harder to break into pen testing in general. So you can definitely go straight into pen testing, but I would get some sort of other experience first. I mean, if I didn't have 6 years of cyber defense experience, I wouldn't be a pen tester right now. I think that was a crucial step for my pen testing career. But there's definitely people out there that went straight to pen testing, but it's not likely. There's a very small amount that actually does that. Like I said, it's not impossible. If it was me, I would take the more sure path of getting an entry-level job first. you know, apply for those entry level jobs, apply for those pen testing jobs, apply for whatever, you know, SOC analyst jobs that you want. And if you keep getting rejected, that's fine. And then I would just take the first one that you get. If you get lucky and the first one's a pen testing opportunity, then definitely take it. But I think that entry level positions help you out so much because employers are looking for that kind of experience. What's up, Roosta? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Can I share my thoughts? Might be controversial. Dude, we love controversial stuff.
Access granted.
Roosta, thanks for following on Twitch. But yeah, you can absolutely share your thoughts. Well, I welcome hot takes and controversial takes. The only thing that we're not going to talk about is just like, you know, things that aren't related to cybersecurity that are controversial. Like if you just dropped in and be like, "Yep, screw the president," like we're not going to talk about that. But we'll talk about, you know, if you want to say screw cybersecurity hiring manager, I'm like, say whatever you want. AI will replace pen testing, social engineering in many years from now from AI takeover. That's pretty controversial. I like it. I like that spice. I've made several videos and a couple podcast episodes. For those who are new to the show, due to this stream, I have a podcast called The Hacker's Cache where I do solo episodes, but most of them I invite a guest onto the show and we have a conversation. And the topic of AI comes up on many times. And I've been on the fence. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, they are going to replace this with AI. Oh, they're not going to replace. I'm like, I keep going back and forth. And I think the consensus overall consensus I'm having is like, I don't think it's going to get replaced anytime soon, but I think in the far future it probably will. And I think pen testing will be the last one. Like, for all cybersecurity positions, I think pen testing will be the last one to get fully automated. So, as a pen tester, if I see, oh, yep, SOC analyst positions are 100% automated, that's when I'm going to start worrying. I'm not worried now because SOC analyst positions aren't fully automated yet. But like I said, I think pen testing is probably the last position in cybersecurity that will get automated, fully automated. And then on the flip side, I think the first one to get fully automated is any GRC role, governance risk compliance role. I think those would be the first ones. SOC analyst, cybersecurity analyst, might be somewhere in the middle. Cybersecurity engineer, somewhere in the middle. Where was I at? Was I talking right? No, I already said that. Have I watched Westworld? Do you know about AI large language models? No, I haven't watched Westworld. But I mean, I do know about AI large language models, but not Westworld. Cloud security? That's a good question. I think cloud security, well, it depends on what you're doing in cloud security. If you're doing like policy and stuff, like I said, I think that's soon to be, that'd be on the first to get replaced. Like anything that has to do with policies. But when it comes to like technical work, like if you're configuring firewalls, if you're configuring cloud rules, that's very unlikely to get automated, because when it comes to cloud, you have to log in, like for example, use AWS, or you can use Azure, any of these cloud platforms like Azure and AWS, like those, you have to log into there and then you have to navigate this very complicated UI. Like they're very hard to navigate. Cloud security is very hard to do. It might even be harder than pen testing, because those UIs are so hard, like complicated. So it would be hard to automate that 100% if you're configuring cloud rules in like an AWS platform or a Azure or Google Cloud platform. All of them are very complex. And that's why there's a lot of security vulnerabilities in the cloud, because these cloud platforms are so hard to navigate that people mess it up, and that's why there's misconfigurations galore, just because they're really hard to do, really hard to set that up. Like you get in there and you're like, I don't know how to do it. I went to AWS Reinforce, so it's like a cloud security conference, and they have these labs, and I'm like trying to do these labs. I'm like, bro, there's so many things that click in here, man. Like it's hard. So yeah, that one's not gonna get replaced anytime soon either. I don't think. Be one of the later ones on the chopping block. It's definitely not easy to learn. I think a good rule of thumb is the harder it is to learn for a human to learn, like the more time it takes to get to that position, the longer it's going to take for AI to replace it, if that makes sense. I think it's a good rule of thumb to have. Hopefully that. Now this is just my opinion. I'm not an AI expert by any means. Okay, I'm just the regular average AI user. I mean, well, I'm not an average AI. I'm definitely a power user when it comes to AI. Like I'm definitely at the advanced level when it comes to like how to use AI. But at the same time, it's like I don't know everything about everything when it comes to AI. You know what I mean? And it's just, even if you knew everything about ChatGPT, like there's no way for that person to predict when cloud security will get fully automated, when pen testing will get fully automated. You just can't guess that, you know what I mean? It's really hard to figure it out. But I think in general, cybersecurity and tech rules in general even are less likely to get automated, are going to be last to get automated. Like, right, there's going to be a lot of other white collar jobs, like for example an accountant, going to get automated, fully automated way before we get automated. So you're going to see the writing on the wall ahead of time. So I wouldn't even worry about it, you know what I mean? Like you're going to see these other positions getting replaced by AI well before you, if you are in a technical role. What's up, Julio? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Machine learning, AI. I mean, there's definitely a difference there, but for the purpose of this conversation, I was kind of wrapping it up in all into one. All right, what did I leave off at? Do I gotta read this? Given the endpoint, an attacker might attempt SQL code, inject SQL code. Oh no, I read that. I remember reading that. Here's the server-side code. Transfer it to logs. We're gonna let that sit there for a sec, so you guys can see it if you want to see it. To be honest with you, I'm not really interested in the actual code to exploit this. Now, if I was trying to fix it, that'd be a different story. But as a pen tester, I don't have to worry about fixing things that much. You know what I mean? I just find a way to break into it and be like, oh, there you go. Queen brought you here, by the way. First stream is fascinating. Well, thanks for the raid, Cybersecurity Queen. By the way, I don't know. I haven't been on Instagram. I know you're on Instagram, Cybersecurity Queen. I actually deleted the app. I don't even have it installed. I post on Instagram through a different app because Instagram is highly distracting to me. And that's not just Instagram too. I don't have TikTok installed. I have LinkedIn installed and that's it. I don't have Facebook installed, Twitter installed, none of it. Because that's how I get work done. Try to stay off social media. Oh, you just wonder what my experience was with AI and machine learning? Not much, not in a formal capacity. I would say I am a power ChatGPT user, and that's about it. I don't have any certifications or any like education when it comes to like AI machine learning at all. The only thing I know about AI machine learning, like if it covers it in like one of the certs, but in the training that I come across, it's like lightly touched on. It doesn't go deep, if that makes sense. I haven't done a deep dive on AI and machine learning. We should do some predictions together. That'd be fun. Predictions are fun, but kind of scary because like someone's gonna be like, Dude, you were wrong about AI, Kyser. You said they wasn't gonna replace me, and I'm on the street begging for food, bro. Guys, you said not to worry about AI, and now we have an AI president, and he's taking over the world. Okay, I'm just looking at the screenshot real quick. Preparing the payload. We will prepare and inject a SQL payload into the user agent header to demonstrate how SQL injection can be exploited through HTTP headers. Our target payload will be union select username password from this comment. This payload is designed to close the existing string literal. The initial single quote is used to close the existing string literal in the SQL query. Inject a union select statement. The union select user password from user part of the payload is used to retrieve the username and password columns from the user table. Comment out the rest of the query. The hashtag character is used to comment out the remainder of the SQL query, ensuring that any subsequent SQL code is designed. Man, I'm halfway this way. Is ignored. We need to send this payload as part of the user agent header in our HTTP request to inject this payload, which can be done using tools like Burp Suite, curl. We use curl command line tool to send the HTTP request with a custom user agent header. Open a terminal and access the command line interface. Use the following command to send the request with a custom user agent. Example terminal. The server's response will be displayed in the terminal if the SQL injection is successful. You'll see the extracted data, username and passwords in the response. Exploiting stored procedures. Stored procedures are routines stored in the database that can perform various operations such as inserting, updating, or querying data. While stored procedures can help improve performance and ensure consistency, they can also be vulnerable to SQL injection if not properly handled. Their stored procedure. Stored procedures are precompiled SQL statements that can be executed as a single unit. They are stored in the database and can be called by applications to perform specific tasks. Stored procedures can accept parameters, which can make them flexible and powerful. However, if these parameters are not properly sanitized, they can introduce SQL injection vulnerabilities. Consider a stored procedure designed to retrieve user data on a username. In this example, the stored procedure concatenates the @user parameter into a dynamic SQL query. This approach is vulnerable to SQL injection because the input is not sanitized. XML and JSON injection. Applications that parse XML or JSON data that use the parse data in SQL queries can be vulnerable to injection if they do not properly sanitize the inputs. XML and JSON injection involve injecting malicious data in XML or JSON structures that are then used in SQL queries. This can occur if the application directly uses parse values in SQL statements. Username, admin. You can see it. If the application uses these values directly in a SQL query like this, it could result in an injection. What is the value of the flag in the books table where book ID equals 1? Let's see if we can try to get this one to work. Clear that out, paste that, see what that gives us. This gave us a bunch of path. Look, see, attacker. So we need to figure out how to get in the books table where book ID equals 1. So what if we did like select you select username, password. So what if we did like select one from books? Something I can think of. Do you select say it has a different number of columns? Select book comma 1 maybe? I don't column book in the field list. Huh. Columns are flag and book ID. Ah. That makes sense. From book ID. So if I do select flag from book ID, not books ID, book ID without the S. Select flag Maybe I gotta do a different kind of out of band attack. New logs inserted successfully. User agent. Let's see here. I think I need to do this. What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? What field is extracting? I think it library book ID. I feel like it's library book ID is the answer. See, wrong. No. What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? What field? Book underscore ID. Can you send again? The columns are flag and book ID. What if I do books? Select flag, book ID from books. And then give me an error. There it is. TryHackMe, hello? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that's right. Huh. It worked. What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? What field? What field? Field. Field. I do not know. What field is extracted? Is this the field? No, that's not the field. What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? Field. I don't know. What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? Generated SQL query? I don't know the answer to this question. Wish it would give me a hint. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT this question. See if we can get ChatGPT to help me out here. So we give what I have. It's just called user agent. See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way it's called user agent. Okay, it's not. At least I was thinking like ChatGPT for a sec, but that's. See, this is why I don't think AI is gonna replace Pentesting anytime soon. This stuff right here, like, it can't get this stuff right half the time. Oh, I'm not even logged in. I don't know. Does anybody got any good guesses? What field is detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? What field is detected? User agent. What field? I feel like it's. I don't know why. I feel like it's user agent. It's not it though. I guess I wasn't really clear. Cybersecurity Queen, if you're still watching, I'd be down for predictions together. Send me a DM, and we can chat about it. Cause yeah, that does sound fun. I haven't really done any predictions a lot, other than AI. AI is like number one prediction that people ask me about all the time. I don't know what the answer to this could be. Is it P class? Is this a field? P class. Try to display the header response in curl. Like that? That's how I get the headers. With dash S, capital S, K, capital I. Is that what you're talking about? What's up, timer? Hold on, stream. Thanks, softening. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is. What field? What field is detected? When extracting the user agent. What if I just give it all of this information? Let's see what it does now. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's ask it. Let's ask it this. See what happens here. Still stuck here? Yeah, man, I don't know. It says user agent. ChatGPT keeps telling me it's user agent. I'm gonna look up the answer, dude. I have no idea. It's user agent, not user agent. I don't think capitalization matters here. Oh, it's gotta be a dash, not an underscore. Oh. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was a freaking dash, not an underscore. We did it right. We just, yeah, that's funny. Cypher, you genius. Automation. SQL injection remains a common threat due to improper implementation of security measures and complexity of different web frameworks. Automating identification and exploiting those vulnerabilities can be challenging, but several tools and techniques have been developed to help streamline this process. Major issues during identification. Identifying SQL injection vulnerabilities involve several challenges similar to identifying any other server-side vulnerability. Here are key issues. Dynamic nature of SQL queries. SQL queries can be dynamically constructed, making it difficult to detect injection points. Complex queries with multiple layers of logic can obscure potential vulnerabilities. Variety of SQL injections. Points. SQL injection can occur in different parts of the application, including input fields, HTTP headers, and URL parameters. Identifying all potential injection points requires thorough testing and comprehensive understanding of the application. Use of security measures. Applications may use prepared statements, parameterized queries, and ORM frameworks, which can prevent SQL injection. Automated tools must be able to differentiate between safe and unsafe query constructions. What's up, Iden AR? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Calm. Are you telling me to be calm? I don't understand. Automated tools must be able to differentiate between safe and unsafe query constructions. Context-specific detection. The context in which user inputs are used in SQL queries can vary widely. Tools must adapt to different contexts to accurately identify vulnerabilities. few important tools. Several renowned tools and projects have been developed within the security community to aid in the automation of finding SQL injection vulnerabilities. Here are a few well-known tools and GitHub repositories that provide functionalities for detecting and exploiting SQL injection. SQLmap. SQLmap is an open source tool that automates the process of detecting and exploiting SQL injection vulnerabilities in web applications. It supports a wide range of databases and provides extensive options for both identification and exploitation. You can learn more about the tool here. SQL Ninja is a tool specifically designed to exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities in web applications that use Microsoft SQL Server as the backend database. It automates various stages of exploitation, including database fingerprinting and data extraction. Extraction and exfiltration. Honestly, what's the difference? JSQL injection, a Java library focused on detecting SQL injection vulnerabilities within Java applications. It supports various types of SQL injection attacks and provides a range of options for extracting data and taking control of the database. BBQ SQL. Barbecue SQL? Is that Sorry, get out myself. Barbecue SQL is a blind SQL injection exploitation framework designed to be simple and highly effective for automated exploitation of blind SQL injection vulnerabilities. Automating the identification and exploitation of SQL injection vulnerabilities is crucial for maintaining web application security. Tools like SQLmap, SQL Ninja, and Barbecue SQL, I'll forever call it Barbecue SQL, provide powerful capabilities for detecting and exploiting these vulnerabilities. However, it's important to understand its limitations of automated tools and the need for manual analysis and validation to ensure comprehensive security coverage. By integrating these tools into your security workflow and following best practices for input validation and core construction, you can effectively mitigate the risks associated with SQL injection vulnerabilities. The dynamic nature of SQL queries assist a pen tester in identifying SQL injections. Yay or nay? I'm gonna say yeah. No. That's what my hunch was at first, but then I changed it on my last minute. I don't know why. Best practice. We're on the home stretch now, guys. Finally made it to Kyser stream. Win. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you're here. SQL injection is a renowned and pervasive vulnerability that has been a major concern in web application security for years. Pen testers must pay special attention to this vulnerability during their assessments, as it requires a thorough understanding of various techniques to identify and exploit SQL injection points. Similarly, secure coders must prioritize safeguarding their applications by implementing robust input validation and adhering to secure coding practices to prevent such attacks. A few of the best practices are mentioned below. Secure coders, parameterized queries, and prepared statements. Use parameterized queries and prepared statements to ensure all user input are treated as data rather than executable code. This technique helps prevent SQL injection by separating the query structure from the data. For example, in PHP with PDO, you can prepare a statement in blind parameters, which ensures that user inputs are safely handled, like stmt equals, okay, I'm not going to read all that, but there you go. There's a safely handled input right there. Input validation and sanitation. Implement strong input validation and sanitation to ensure that inputs conform to expected formats. Validate data types, lengths, and ranges, and reject any input that does not meet these criteria. Use built-in functions like HTML special characters and filter bar in PHP to sanitize inputs effectively. Least privilege principle. Apply the principle of least privilege by granting application accounts the minimal necessary database permissions. Avoid using database accounts with administrative privileges for everyday operations to minimize. This minimizes the potential impact of successful SQL injection attacks by limiting the attacker's access to critical Database functions, stored procedures. Encapsulate and validate SQL logic using stored procedures. This allows you to control and validate the inputs within the data itself, reducing the risk of SQL injection. Ensure that stored procedures accept only validated inputs and are designed to handle input sanitization internally. Regular security audits and code reviews. Conduct regular security audits and code reviews to identify and address vulnerabilities. Automated tools can help scan for SQL injection risks, but manual reviews are also essential to catch subtle issues. Regular audits ensure that your security practices stay up to date with evolving threats. Pentesters, hey, that's me. Exploiting database-specific features. Different database management systems, DBMS, have unique features and syntax. A pentester could understand the specifics of the target DBMS, for example, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, MySQL, to exploit these features effectively. For instance, MS SQL supports the XP command shell command, which can be used to execute system commands. Leveraging error messages. Exploit verbose error messages to gain insight into the database schema and structure. Error-based SQL injection involves provoking the application to generate error messages that reveal useful information. For example, using one single quote and one convert integer select version can generate errors that leak version information. Bypassing WAF and filters. Test various obfuscation techniques to bypass web application firewalls and input filters. This includes using mixed case select, concatenation, concat, all these different characters together, and select encodings, hex URL encoding. Additionally, using the comments and different character encodings can help bypass simple filters. Database fingerprinting. Determine the type and version of the database to tailor the attack. This can be done by sending specific queries that yield different results depending on the DBMS. For instance, select version works on PostgreSQL, while selecting add version works on MySQL and MS SQL. Pivoting with SQL injection. Use SQL injections to pivot and exploit other parts of the network. I mean, the internet's one big network and it's all over the world, so that makes sense. Once a database server is compromised, it can be used to gain access to other internal systems. This might involve extracting credentials or exploiting trust relationships between systems. Advanced SQL injection testing requires a deep understanding of various techniques and the ability to adapt to different environments. Pentesters should employ various methods, from exploiting database specific features to bypassing sophisticated filters to thoroughly assessing and exploiting SQL injection vulnerabilities. Methodically documenting each step ensures a comprehensive evaluation of the application's security. What command does MS SQL support to execute system commands? That's the XP command shell. You just copy that, paste this in here, boom, done. Conclusion. I feel like that was a conclusion, but here we go. In this room, we have explored several advanced SQL injection techniques, including second-order SQL injection, out-of-band SQL injection, and filter evasion. We also covered techniques like cookie injection. We did? When did we cover cookie injection? Illustrating the diverse methods attacks used to exploit web applications. Our journey didn't stop at exploitation. We discussed the importance of automation in identifying and exploiting SQL injection vulnerabilities and leveraging tools to streamline and enhance our security processes. Understanding these attack techniques is crucial for any penetration tester aiming to uncover and address complex security flaws. Additionally, we discussed various mitigation measures to safeguard applications against these sophisticated attacks, emphasizing the need for robust security posture. As a penetration tester, your role is not only to find vulnerabilities, but also to understand the best practices for remediation and prevention. Armed with the knowledge from this room, you are better equipped to protect web applications, ensuring that they are resilient against ever-evolving landscape of SQL injection threats. Let us know your thoughts in this room on our Discord or our X account. See you around. I have successfully completed room complete. And we are done. Look at that. Congratulations on completing advanced SQL injection. We are done. Took a little longer than I wanted it to. Oh, we got a badge, dude. We got a badge. SQL Slayer, Conquered Advanced SQL Injection, dude. I got a new badge. I haven't got a badge on TryHackMe for a long time, dude. This is great. I love badges. Look at that, dude. Freaking SQL Slayer, boy. Get out of my way, SQL. I'ma slay you. Alright, so the next room is we got no SQL injection, which is something that I don't have a lot of experience with, so I'm looking forward to that. We're not doing that today. That's going to be a feature stream. It won't even be the next stream. The next stream we'll be doing a hack the box machine on Monday. That will be the Monday stream. The next stream will actually be Thursday stream, which is a coding session. I do coding streams every Thursday, and I do hacking streams every Monday. So the next hacking stream will be Hack the Box. I'm not sure what machine it's going to be yet, but it will be Hack the Box. And then the next stream will be a coding stream, which will be Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'm coding in Python. And that won't be very long. It's just something to keep the rust off my skills and sometimes beginner friendly. But I will answer any cybersecurity and hacking related questions during that stream if you have them, even though it's not a hacking stream. So hopefully I see you there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're on Twitch or Kick, hit the follow button if you haven't followed yet already, and hit the bell notification to get notified when I go live next. I also make a podcast called The Hacker's Cache. I interview experts in the field of offensive security, bring on a show, and I exfiltrate their insights and expertise and bring it to you, the audience. And then I also have a YouTube channel. If you guys want to see my recorded videos, you can definitely check that out over my YouTube channel as well. I make tons of great content, whether it's certifications, career advice, technical demonstrations, or how-to videos. I have a wide selection of videos on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching this stream. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are truly great. And if you guys want to get more information on me, you can check me out at kyserclark.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Until then, I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. Peace out. Take care. Have a good one. Kyser